Some of the strangest tractors ever invented were not wild concepts. They were built, sold, and steered through real fields by real people. Machines meant to replace horses, start with a blowtorch, or crawl sideways across mountain slopes. Each one was shaped by a problem the world's standard tractors could not solve. How did engineering so odd become a genuine answer? And why did many of these rare giants quietly vanish? Each strange model holds a clue. In the years just after World War I, American farms faced a crossroads. Horses had powered the fields for generations, but the promise of mechanization was everywhere. Into this moment stepped the Samson iron horse, a machine that looked less like a tractor and more like a mechanical animal. Built by the Samson Tractor Division of General Motors between 1919 and 1921, the iron horse was designed for small farms, places where a full-size tractor seemed excessive. But the age of the horse was coming to an end. Unlike the four-wheeled giants that soon dominated American agriculture, the iron horse rolled on just two large drive wheels. The operator walked behind, gripping long handles that trailed the narrow, upright engine and transmission. For those wanting a break, a small seat, called a sulky, could be attached, letting the farmer ride instead of walk. The goal was simple: replace a single horse with a compact, affordable machine that could pull plows, cultivators, or small wagons through tight spaces. Mechanically, the iron horse ran on a small gasoline engine coupled directly to its big rear wheels. Steering and controls were managed from the handles, much like guiding a draft animal. Its tall, slender profile and walk-behind layout made it a strange sight even in an era of experimentation. Yet for many, the iron horse was a logical answer to the new economics of rural life. After the war, labor was scarce, and many farmers could not justify a full tractor, but needed to keep up with changing times. Despite its ambition, the iron horse struggled in the field. Operators found it tiring and unstable, especially on uneven ground. As four-wheeled tractors improved and prices fell, the walk-behind design quickly faded. Only a handful survive today, mostly in museums or private collections. For collectors, the Samson iron horse stands as a rare artifact, a symbol of how the rush to mechanize sometimes led to dead ends, and how even the strangest designs were shaped by the real pressures of their era. In the heart of Germany's farmland, a different kind of tractor was taking shape. The Lanz Bulldog, first introduced by Heinrich Lanz in Mannheim in the 1920s, became a household name across Europe, not because it was fast or sleek, but because it was nearly unstoppable. What set the Bulldog apart was its massive single-cylinder hot bulb engine, a design that looked primitive even in its own day, but delivered a kind of rugged simplicity that farmers trusted. The hot bulb principle was unlike anything found in most tractors of the era. To start the engine, operators first heated a bulb-shaped chamber on the cylinder head with a blowtorch. Once the metal glowed red, diesel fuel was injected, and the engine would cough to life with a deep, rhythmic thump. This two-stroke process produced immense torque at low speeds, letting the Bulldog pull heavy loads through mud, clay, or rough ground where lighter machines would get stuck. The engine could even run on a range of fuels, diesel, kerosene, or crude oil, making it invaluable in rural areas where supplies were unpredictable. The Bulldog's strange proportions, a towering flywheel, exposed moving parts, and upright stance were a direct answer to the needs of small European farms in the interwar years. Many farmers lacked access to spare parts or skilled mechanics. The Lanz Bulldog could be repaired in the field with basic tools, and its slow, pounding engine was as much a fixture of the countryside as church bells or village markets. By the 1930s, the Bulldog was a common sight from the flat fields of the Netherlands to the vineyards of France and Spain. Even decades after production ended, thousands of Lanz Bulldogs survive. Restored and running, they gather at vintage tractor rallies across Europe, their single-cylinder engines echoing across the fields. Collectors value them not just for their rarity, but for the way they capture a moment when brute force and mechanical simplicity were the best answers to a hard day's work. In the late 1940s, American cities were ringed by small farms that supplied fresh vegetables to local markets. These truck farms needed a different kind of tractor, one that could work in tight spaces, handle delicate crops, and give the operator a clear view of every row. Allis-Chalmers answered with the Model G, produced from 1948 to 1955. At first glance, the Model G looked almost inside out. Its four-cylinder gasoline engine sat behind the driver, tucked over the rear axle, while the operator rode up front, legs straddling a simple steel frame. Instead of pulling tools behind, the Model G carried its implements underneath, mounted midship directly below the seat. This layout gave the driver a perfect view of the cultivator, planter, or hoe at work. No more craning the neck, no guessing where the tool was running. Visibility was the design priority. The design was not just about visibility. With the engine weight over the drive wheels, the Model G had better traction in soft ground, yet the front end stayed light and nimble. The tractor's compact size and low profile made it easy to slip between rows of lettuce, carrots, or onions without crushing plants. For market gardeners working on a few acres, this precision meant higher yields and less wasted time. Mechanically, the Model G kept things simple. Its rear-mounted engine drove the rear wheels through a basic transmission, while a central frame supported a variety of bolt-on implements. Steering worked like a conventional tractor, but the operator's forward position made it feel more like piloting a small machine through a maze of crops. Simple engineering and clever placement explained the unusual layout. After World War II, demand for local produce surged, and small-scale growers needed affordable, specialized equipment. The Model G filled that niche, especially in the eastern and midwestern United States. It never became a mass-market bestseller, but it built a loyal following among vegetable farmers who valued its unique approach. Production ended in 1955, but the Model G's influence lingers. Many have survived, restored by collectors, or converted to electric power by modern small farmers. At tractor shows and in organic fields, the Model G still stands out, a reminder that sometimes the strangest designs are the ones that fit their time and place perfectly. Northern Italy's vineyards, with their steep terraces and narrow rows, demanded a new kind of machine. Antonio Carraro, founded in 1960, set out to meet that challenge. Their answer was the Tigrone, a compact four-wheel drive tractor designed for places where standard models simply could not go. The Tigrone's isodiametric design, with equal-sized wheels front and back, gave it a squat, balanced profile. Its narrow width and short wheelbase let it slip through tight spaces without disturbing vines or fruit. Central articulation allowed the chassis to twist in the middle, keeping all four wheels firmly on the ground, even on uneven slopes. For farmers working on hillsides where a single slip could be costly, this flexibility was more than a convenience. It was a necessity. A breakthrough came with the Tigrone Jonas series, the reversible driving station. The entire seat, steering wheel, and pedals could be rotated 180 degrees, letting the operator face either direction. In a few minutes, the driver could work backwards with full control, making tasks like mowing or spraying in tight rows far easier and safer. No more craning around to watch the implement at work, just a simple turn of the seat. Power ranged from 40 to 70 horsepower, with diesel engines built for steady, reliable work on slopes. Four-wheel drive and a low center of gravity kept the Tigrone stable where others risked tipping. Over the years, the Tigrone name appeared on a range of models, each one refining the formula for hillside and vineyard work. Independent tests in Germany during the 1990s confirmed the Tigrone's reputation for performance and safety. Though early Tigrone tractors are rare outside Southern Europe, Antonio Carraro still produces updated versions, each one carrying forward the legacy of innovation for narrow rows and steep ground. In the early 1960s, International Harvester set out to answer a question few had dared to ask. Could a farm tractor run on jet power? The result was the HT340, followed by its sibling, the HT341, two experimental machines that looked familiar from a distance but harbored radical technology beneath the sheet metal. Instead of a traditional diesel or gasoline engine, these prototypes used a compact gas turbine, similar to what powered helicopters and industrial generators. The turbine spun at high speed, but instead of driving the wheels directly through gears, it powered a hydraulic pump. Pressurized oil flowed to hydraulic motors at each wheel, letting the operator control speed and direction with a lever rather than a clutch or gear shift. This hydrostatic drive let the engine run at a steady pace, while the tractor crept, surged, or reversed smoothly. It was an idea decades ahead of its time. The HT340 first appeared in 1961 as a working concept. International Harvester engineers believed turbines could offer lighter weight, fewer moving parts, and lower maintenance than piston engines. The hydrostatic transmission was chosen because turbines perform best at constant speed, while farm work demands endless starts, stops, and speed changes. In theory, the combination promised simplicity and power. In practice, the turbine's appetite for fuel, high exhaust heat, and delicate internals made it a poor match for dusty, uneven fields. Operators found the controls smooth and responsive, but the cost and complexity kept the design from leaving the prototype stage. Only two original examples survive. The HT-341 is preserved at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History, while the HT-340 is on display at the Volo Museum in Illinois. Neither has turned a wheel in decades, but their presence in museum collections speaks to the ambition behind the project. A single running replica built by a private enthusiast occasionally appears at vintage machinery events, offering a rare glimpse of the turbine tractor in motion. For collectors and engineers, the HT-340 and HT-341 stand as reminders of a moment when tractor design flirted with aerospace technology, proof that even the most outlandish experiments can leave a lasting legacy. High in the Swiss Alps, farming isn't just hard work, it is a battle against gravity. For generations, steep meadows and narrow terraces meant that even the best machines could be as dangerous as they were helpful. In this landscape, Aebi introduced the Terratrac, a tractor that looks nothing like the tall, narrow machines found on flat fields. Instead, the Terratrac sits low and wide, with its engine and driveline tucked deep between four nearly equal-sized wheels. Every part of its design exists for one reason: to keep the tractor upright on slopes where a misstep could mean a rollover. Unlike conventional tractors, the Terratrac uses a front axle that twists independently from the rear, letting all four wheels stay in contact with the ground even as the terrain buckles and dips. Its hydrostatic drive allows the operator to inch forward or back with exact control, an essential feature when mowing grass or hauling loads on ground that can pitch away at any moment. It offers 4 steering modes, including all-wheel steering and crab steering, which let the Terratrac maneuver across hillsides, turn tightly on terraces, or move diagonally to spread weight and avoid sliding. Wide, low-pressure tires and the option to fit dual wheels at all corners create a huge footprint, spreading the tractor's weight and gripping the turf with surprising tenacity. Mountain farmers in Switzerland and Austria quickly adopted the Terratrac for haymaking, forage, and municipal work on ski slopes and embankments. Insurance agencies and safety authorities recognized these machines as a separate class, built to tackle slopes far steeper than standard tractors could handle safely. Over the decades, Aebi refined the Terratrac with more power, better hydraulics, and improved electronics. The core principle never changed: stability first, everything else second. Today, older Terratracs still work the hillsides, while newer models handle everything from winter snow to landfill maintenance. For collectors and alpine farmers alike, the Terratrac is more than just a tool. It is the machine that made mountain farming possible, and a symbol of Swiss engineering built to defy the odds of the landscape. Hungary's collective farms in the late 1950s needed a tractor that could handle mud, snow, and the kind of rough treatment that comes with shared machinery. The Dutra U28 answered that call with a shape and balance unlike anything seen on Western fields. Built in Budapest from 1958 to 1970, the U28, and especially the four-wheel drive UE28 variant, was defined by a heavy forward-set engine and a massive cast-iron nose that extended well ahead of the front axle. A Seipel 2-cylinder diesel, a 2.7-liter long stroke unit, sat out front, driving all four wheels through a simple 6-speed gearbox. This arrangement concentrated much of the tractor's 2,180 kilogram mass over the front axle, and the large 9x24 front tires were nearly as substantial as the rears, an unusual sight for a machine of this size. The design was not about looks. On Hungary's wet lowlands and uneven collective plots, traction often meant the difference between finishing a job and getting stuck for hours. By concentrating weight over the front axle and using full-time four-wheel drive, the UE28 could pull through soft ground and climb slopes where lighter, rear-biased tractors would spin or bog down. The short wheelbase and compact frame made it nimble in tight farmyards, while the rugged, overbuilt castings reflected a philosophy that valued durability above comfort. In practice, the U28 earned a reputation as a tough, no-nonsense workhorse. The engine, borrowed from Seapel trucks, was slow-revving and easy to repair, a key advantage for collective farm mechanics who needed to keep machines running with limited parts. Operators praised its pulling power and reliability, but often complained about the harsh ride and basic controls. Comfort was clearly a secondary concern. After decades of hard labor, many U28s survived the breakup of collective farms, moving to small private plots or ending up in the hands of collectors. Today, restored examples are celebrated in Hungary and neighboring countries as symbols of an era when tractors were built to last. A heavy nose meant one thing: more work done and less time stuck in the mud. In the late 1970s, as horsepower wars swept across North America's grain belt, Case introduced a machine that redefined what a tractor could do. Known as the Case 2670 Traction King, it arrived not just as a brute force contender, but as a showcase of experimental maneuverability. It used a 6-cylinder, 504 cubic inch turbocharged or diesel Lano engine that produced more than 200 horsepower. What truly set it apart was its steering. Hydraulic systems controlled both front and rear axles, and a central articulated frame allowed the tractor to bend in the middle. This combination let the 2670 perform tight turns and, in crab mode, move diagonally across fields, sidestepping while hauling massive implements. Operators could select standard front wheel steering, coordinated four-wheel steering, where the rear wheels turned opposite the fronts for a sharp pivot, or crab steering, where all wheels angled the same way. This flexibility was not just a technical marvel, it was a practical advantage. On the sprawling headlands of wheat and corn farms, the ability to turn tightly or crab sideways saved precious time and reduced soil compaction, a constant concern for high-yield operations. Equal-sized wheels and a balanced chassis kept the 2670 stable, ensuring all four wheels gripped the earth even under heavy loads. The complexity of the hydraulic and articulation systems demanded careful attention. Leaks or misalignment could turn precise movement into unpredictable drift, and some farmers found the system temperamental under relentless use. Yet for others, the 2670 represented a bold glimpse of the future, a tractor that could match raw power with agility. Today, the Cased 2670 is remembered as a legend. A handful still work the land, but most appear at shows or in restoration shops. Their distinctive crab-like turns drawing curious crowds. The Traction King's legacy endures in modern articulated and four-wheel steer tractors, but few have matched its blend of size, strength, and maneuverability. For those who saw it in action, the 2670 remains the high watermark of experimental engineering at the peak of America's grain belt expansion. Innovation in farming rarely looks predictable. As climate change and shifting food demands reshape agriculture, the spirit that built these unconventional machines drives today's advances in autonomy and specialized design. Farming faces new terrain, literal and political, where radical solutions are not just history, they are a necessity. Sometimes the future of food starts with the courage to build something that looks impossible. Which machine challenged your expectations most? Let us know in the comments.